I'm very sorry for this kind of interrupting every time. And we are waiting Mykola. Maybe he can finish his presentation. Oh. Mykola, I think you should finish your presentation and go to questions, please. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
very sorry for this. Please.
No problem.
We can't make answers.
Very new experience with such a
please finish.
Yeah, so I can concluded already my work, and if any questions, I make
Thank
answer.
you. Any questions this way, please?
No question. Good question.
No, we have question, but maybe it's tight. But
Okay.
you are studying punctuation. Punctuation is, for my opinion, we know almost everything about punctuation, but you start to study punctuation, not start, maybe continue. Why? Why this part of natural language processing? And
Yeah,
a big problem, but sometimes it's we can see that it's a small problem.
it's a small problem for natural language processing. It's a big problem for spoken language processing.
Yes,
Because yeah, for speech to text converter, what is output of this? It's just a sequence of words. It's very complicated to process this information for some other downstream tasks. So for human, it's very, very important to percept the text like it's reading something natural rather than artificial, and punctuation helps much. Recent years, or maybe 3-4 years, this kind of research in the world is developing, and for Ukrainian language, I think it's great language to be solved, for this task to be solved for this language.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Understand. For speech recognition is great problem. Yes, it's the first maybe part of the first step for speech recognition, maybe in order to understand something.
Yes, completely agree. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now we have go to our maybe some last presentation. Wait one moment. I can improve. Now, where is the program? One moment. Yes. And now we have next. We have to hear next presentation: a comparative analysis of English and Ukrainian text processing based on semantic and syntax approaches. Victoria Vysotska, Svitlana
Holoshchuk and Roman Holoshchuk.
Oh, thank you very much. Please.
Yes. Okay, just a moment. Let me share the screen with you.
Yes, please. We see and maybe can hear.
Okay. So hello, my name is Svitlana Holoshchuk, and today I would like to present you our research on the topic a comparative analysis for English and Ukrainian texts processing based on semantics and syntax approach, developed by Victoria Vysotska, Svitlana Holoshchuk, and Roman Holoshchuk Lviv Polytechnic National University. In the presentation, I will focus on three major issues. I will begin by presenting the results of the comparative analysis of the English and Ukrainian languages. Then I will go on to the methods of terminal chains, identification, and production. And finally, I will demonstrate the results of experiments and discussion. Our objectives are to conduct a comparative analysis of English and Ukrainian syntax and semantics for the linguistic support of text processing, to determine the optimal method for automating process of a set of Ukrainian language data, and to develop a new algorithm for finding significant keywords and automatic contact categories. We have got the experimental basis and 100 scientific papers of the Journal of Lviv Polytechnic National University, series of information system and networks are taken as the experimental basis for such research. For the development of any linguistic algorithm, it is crucial to define a linguistic unit first. According to the purpose of the future algorithm, the following areas of research are chosen: structural and lexical, correspondingly grapheme, morpheme, morphological, syntactic, and lexical. The latter one determines the choice of lexical units as a part of natural language. And on the slide, you can see a table which shows the general structure of the natural language. This leads us directly to the next part of our work, comparative analysis of the English and Ukrainian morphology. Here we analyze the internal structure of words and forms of two languages. We did it in details. Then the analysis of phonetic, grammatical, and orthographic features of both languages is conducted. English and Ukrainian belong to different group of languages, and differences in pronunciation, grammar, and spelling should be considered while developing the automatic text processing. The results of the study are presented in the tables below. Yes, here you can see phonetic and grammatical features of English and Ukrainian languages, and comparative analysis of the phonetic and orthographic features of the English and Ukrainian languages. In the next part of the presentation, I would like to focus on the terminal chain identification, which is introduced and modeled in our work. There are two of them. The first one is the process of a terminal chain identification in English, and the second one is the process of a terminal chain identification in Ukrainian. Applying the principles of generative grammar by Noam Chomsky, we developed production rules of terminal chain in English and production rules of terminal chain in Ukrainian. On this slide, you can see the fragments of structural schemes and the process of modeling the syntax of the English sentence and of the Ukrainian sentence. Now let's move to the section of experiments and discussion. We compiled a table of keywords. In the column RAB, I hope you can see it here. It's here. You can see the rubric to which a particular keyword belongs in a given entry. In a column entitled flag, it is specified the properties of this keyword, part of the language it belongs to. The next slide shows a table of rules of reduction to the word basis. The attribute flag defines the word type. Here it is a noun group, singular. An attribute mask shows the rule of ending identification. An attribute find the word ending in a nominative case, and an attribute REPL the word ending when declining. In square brackets, here they are, exceptions to the rules are given. Now have a look at the table of rubrics. It is rather complicated to generate terminal chains in English, the presence of articles and connection of noun groups with each other by appropriate preposition makes the tree longer and wider. The production of terminal chains in the Ukrainian language is complicated by differences in case and gender inflections of the term used in context. And the last point. We have introduced a new algorithm for finding a set of keywords and symbols. It is used to define internet searches with the consideration of the thematic sets of words. An open access of the algorithm is available at vitana.lviv.ua. So, conclusions. Let me briefly summarize what I have said so far. Comparative analysis of the English and Ukrainian syntax and semantics is carried out with the aim of modeling the language structure. The application of generating grammars has a wide range of possibilities in the development and design of automated systems for the linguistic support of computer programs. The introduction of new restrictions on the classes of words based on generating grammars is presented. The process of a terminal chain identification in English and Ukrainian is presented in details. Production rules of terminal chains in English and Ukrainian are studied and applied. A new algorithm for finding a set of keywords and symbols used to define internet searches is placed in an open access. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Any questions? I have some, maybe a little curious questions.
Yes, you are welcome.
I want to ask you about why you compare English and Ukrainian. It can be interesting, but if you compare English and Ukrainian and Russian and Ukrainian, what we can say about this? What the difference between this comparing, or what pairs of language are closer?
Thank you for your question. First of all, let me answer the first part of it. We took into consideration Ukrainian and English language because these languages are close to us. Yes. We are the native speakers of the Ukrainian, and all programming and software is developed firstly in English. So we have to compare these two languages just to analyze how to conduct our development of their applications and of their text processing, yes, better and more efficient. Why not to compare the Russian language? Yes. It can be a good step ahead, and our further investigations, we will do that, of course, because it's an interesting moment of our development of that topic, yes. And I think it will be a good thing to consider. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. Now we have our last presentation. Maybe Svitlana, are you going to make it too?
Yes, it's me. Yes, yes. I'm on behalf of our team to present two presentations. Okay.
Okay, we ask you.
Let me share the screen again with you. Okay, so now let me introduce you our next topic. It is real-time Ukrainian text recognition and voicing. Our research is developed by Oksana Kovtun, Vasil Stus, Donetsk National University, Kateryna Tymoshenko, Victoria Vysotska, Roman Holoshchuk, and Svitlana Holoshchuk, Lviv Polytechnic National University. In the presentation, I will focus on three major issues. I will begin by explaining the main problems in the area. Then I will go on to the methods of text recognition research. And finally, I will demonstrate the results of experiment and discussion. Okay. Just a technical issue, I'm sorry. So the objective of this work is to develop algorithms for text recognition and sound in video mode and their implementation for people with visual impairments and people who are learning a foreign language and correct pronunciation. The object of the project is to elaborate software for the Android operating system to help visually impaired people understand the text through its sound. We have analyzed modern text recognition technologies and would like to highlight some of their disadvantages. Firstly, the speed of text recognition and collection of all text within the phone screen. Secondly, Ukrainian language in Android works incorrectly or does not exist at all. Having studied modern approaches, we have set the following tasks for the program to be developed. Implement text recognition in video mode, implement text recognition in Ukrainian and English, develop sound to the text when you tap the screen, and updated the image and text with the number of frames from 30 to 60 frames per second. Please be so kind to have a look at related works and applications. They are Abby Fine Reader 10 Home Edition, OCRQ and Form, and CamScanner. The analysis of programs and developments in the field help us to define clear product requirements. The application, which is developed, is aimed at providing the user with a user-friendly interface that will automatically recognize text, and after clicking on the frame of the screen, it voices an item. The main actor is the user, who needs to recognize a text and how it sounds. So, the principle of speech synthesis algorithm is to use a text sound, and to do that, we need to analyze which method is the best to use for software development. The sound of the text is divided into types: parametric synthesis, compilation synthesis, and synthesis according to the rules, according to the printed text. There is a rule of language recognition technology that uses recorded segments of natural language. Despite the high level in this area, the developers of the algorithm still have difficulty in creating a perfect synthesis of language. The structure of the program recognition and sound. Since the image is not static but changeable, its speed is important to us. The frame rate on the phone ranges from 30 to 60 frames per second. To achieve maximum text recognition performance, the program will circle the found text with a frame inside which will be the text. Methods of text recognition research. So there are 3 stages, and the first stage of scientific research is a complete analysis of the problem of text recognition in video mode. The second stage of scientific research is the solution of the task set at the first stage, and the software product is tested in real condition. And the last stage is the analysis of the obtained results and their design. They are demonstrated as tables and charts. The results are compared with analogs, and the quality of the software is summarized. Android Studio IDE and Java programming language are used for the software development. Language synthesis, which is built into the Android operating system, is used to voice the selected text. Text recognition is performed by superimposing images on each other, which speeds up the algorithm. Text recognition requires several steps to roughly the image, namely from POW to JPEG, and then YUV for better text recognition. Now let's discuss the question of input and output data of the software. The source data of the software product is a recognized text and graphically drawn frames of the text so that the user can click and the text itself is voiced as a result. On the next slide, you can see some fragments of program code. And the software is developed on Android Studio using the Java programming language. And now let me show a few examples of how it works. The improved algorithm makes overlaying images and thus there is no loss of frames. That is, the algorithm quickly recognizes the text on the phone screen. The result is the recognition of Ukrainian text when changing frames in video mode. To verify the quality and compliance with the requirements specified in the requirement specification, the received software is tested. To verify the quality of the software created, the following tests and test data sets are created according, and you can see it in table 1 and table 2. Now in the first figure you can see the image testing when the brightness changes, number of frames as the legend element, and in the second figure there are examples of text recognition when the light changes. On this slide you can see the results of testing the image when the number of characters changes, series number of frames as element of the legend, and below you can see the examples of text recognition when the number of characters is changed. So the first picture here shows a text recognition in different fonts and the second one at different sizes. We can conclude that the program works well with different types of text, different fonts and sizes. Now let me briefly summarize what I have said so far. Implementation of a text recognition algorithm in video recording mode for people with visual impairments is one of the most important and crucial tasks for us. Algorithm for recognition in Ukrainian and English in video recording mode. Implementation of the algorithm for sounding the text when you click on the screen. Image update and recognition of font text occurs at the number of frames, from 30 to 60 frames per second. Support for Android 4.0 plus. Implementation of highlighting the boundaries of the text found. Software for the Android operating system for the visually impaired and people who are learning the correct pronunciation of foreign words. Studies have shown that the improved algorithm speeds up text recognition by 4–5%, which helps to better recognize text, but the effectiveness depends on external factors. A study is conducted on the accuracy of text recognition, and the results showed that the accuracy of recognition depends on external factors, which impairs the recognition by about 40%. So, for further research, we have outlined the following points. So, we would like to update the user interface for easier use of the software, further optimize the text recognition algorithm for video recording mode, conduct research for the algorithm to assess the behavior of the program when changing the tilt of the screen from 0 to 90 degrees, and conduct research with handwritten texts to analyze how the program will interact with them, add new languages for text recognition and sound. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation, last presentation. Any questions? Don't hesitate to ask any questions for last presentation.
One question. How many letters you handle with your system? I mean, can we take a picture of one page of text or half page of text and try to convert it to speech, or several words only?
Okay, thank you for your question. But this field was covered by our partner, my colleague. So, and that's why I cannot answer your question. It is not my field. Sorry.
Thank you. Good answer. Good answer. Thank you very much. Now,
Thank
the
you,
program of our section is over. We missed only or skipped only two presentations by Oleg Krupi, Konstantin Kazin, and Ala Tarand. I don't know the reason for this, but the program of our presentation is over. Thank you everyone who attend to our section and who stay with us until now. Thank you very much, and I wish you next fruitful research, next challenges, and next cooperation research, and good luck and health. And I invite you to attend tomorrow to plenary section at exactly 10 o'clock. And if you don't have any question for me, thank you very much. And I hope see you tomorrow.
Thanks a lot for our chair, Nina.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Without
Thank you
you,
so much.
nothing. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
So goodbye.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.